Hi everyone, it's Mary Jo from MaryjoesCreations. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are on day 11 of Vlogmas. Wow, time has gone by a lot faster than what I thought. And we haven't seen the calendar for a while because, it's been a little crazy, but here we are. Now, we're going to cross off day 10. Oh, and we're on day 11. So there it is. Day 11 of Vlogmas. Day 11 of Vlogmas is here. And let's see what we can get done today. Okay. I put my hair up in a ponytail today. I'm not used to wearing ponytails. And I have this baby hair thing going on. I don't know. But anyway, we are going to be in my room today because I want to finish, at least get to the, well, today would be 22 squares that I need, right? So it's day 11, 2 a day, it would be 22 squares that I need to have in total to be caught up and just be able to do my 2 squares a day, which that's the plan, right? I think as of right now, I believe I made 9 last night. And I think I had 5. So that's 14 squares. We will be counting them in a minute. Before I get started, we'll be counting, but there's something that I want to show you. I believe I have 14 squares done. So if I need 22, that's 6 more. 8 more. My head hurts. I'm not, it's, well, not early, but I just finished posting for you yesterday's video. And I edited this morning and I finally got it up. So I'm a little like, woo, but, if you watched yesterday's video, you will see that this was almost empty, right? And I only had like 3 or 4 colors in here. And I was like, I know I have to have scrap yarn or pieces that are, maybe not too long, but long enough to start the center of the squares, right? And so they're not very long pieces, so I might have to tie a few together. But I have, I do it in here too, and I didn't go through the one in here. But in my workroom, I have this bucket that I put in scraps that are like, like, let me see, like this. Or like, not long enough to really do something with it, but, long enough that I didn't want to throw in my really scrap bucket, which is what I will use for like either filler or something like that. And I remembered this morning and I went to look through it and I found all of these that are in here. And I found a bunch of these. This is like really thin yarn from my, I believe I called it my blue sky sweater, which I don't think you've seen yet. So, oh yes, we have. Yes, you have. No. I took pictures, but I don't think I posted them. Anyway, I will be showing them to you in probably tomorrow's video. But I had these, and they're like a 3-weight, and they're very thin. So I, tied a bunch together to make 2 strands. I don't know what that's going to give me, but we're going to find out soon enough. And again, this is the same. I'm going to just place them lightly over there. And then I remembered this. This is the one that's in my room. And now there is probably some cotton in here, which I do not want to mix. I don't have a problem mixing the different acrylics, but I really don't want to mix cotton in this, so the cotton is going to stay separate. But I do have a few here, and I forgot all about it. And so, like, I'm so glad that I found these, because now I don't know how many are in there. Who knows? Maybe I'll make more than it depends on what the yarn, you know, gives me. But who knows how many we're going to make. The goal is 50. Hopefully we will have enough for 50. Now, this one is the one that's very thin, so I would like to double strand this if I can. And I'm going to try and pull all the cotton out and just put it back in there. Because I have been working with a lot of cotton. I do love my cotton depending on what it is that I'm making, right? Here we are, a few more scraps of this 3-weight yarn. So I'm not going to tie them together, but hopefully, you know, at this moment, we're going to find some pieces that are closer in length so that we can put them together. And hopefully I will have enough to, you know, make a whole different bunch of fun squares in the middle, you know, like fun squares. I really wanted like as much different yarn as I could get, you know, and I'm just a little, you know, excited that I found these little pieces. I believe this is 3-weight yarn, but it's a little thicker than that one. Here we go. They're just like all mixed in, like seriously, dude. Like, you know, I would just finish a piece and if I would cut off a really long enough piece that, you know I'm going to have to tie these together with something else in order to make at least one round. But at this point, I think I'm okay with that. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I have this little one that I just started and I couldn't even make, you know, like one solid round. So we're just going to tie this brown piece on and see where that takes me. Now, there is a little bit of black thrown in here somewhere, and I know I do have a few scrap balls of black. I did bring a white one in here yesterday, and it was used a few times in some of the squares, which I was kind of like a little afraid to add white in it because white with me is dangerous. But I am glad I kind of added it because it does look, I think, really nice. And again, I don't know how many squares this is going to give me. Let me work this up because if I can finish, like I also, while I was editing, made a few more circles. Not circles, the centers of the squares. Bear with me, guys. I think I'm losing my mind. And, you know, I like this method where I just make a whole bunch of centers. And then once all the centers are done, I start adding colors, because if you crochet, you know that what I'm about to say is absolutely true. The hardest part of the project, whether it's a row or center. The hardest part is always starting. Or at least in my opinion it is. Starting it is always the hardest. So I do like to have, sometimes if I'm in that mood and let's say I want to get through a bunch of squares at a time, or if I'm doing panels, and which is very rare because to be honest with you, I don't like to make things with panels because sometimes I can't get the panels the same size. I don't know. But I do love to make like the start because it's what takes the most time out of the project. And so if I have a bunch of these started, then, you know, grabbing the colors and tying them on, and it just, to me, makes the project go faster. Maybe I'm crazy. Who knows? But I did these while I was editing the video. I got this one done, which, you know, is the center of the square, and then a little bit extra. I got this one done, and I doubled this yarn up because it is rather thin, although now it's rather thick, but that's okay. I can live with that. I did this one. I got this little square done, and it'll even out once I start. And I've gotten now this one done. And we're going to start with these first. 1, 2, there's 4. So I'm not getting started just yet because I have to step out and go to the pharmacy, and you know, there's a few things that I want to do before I actually sit down to start really crocheting. But it's okay. Right now, what I wanted to do was get these together. And again, these light 3-weights that I have, this is the Fairyland yarn, and this is the Mandela yarn that I was just using. And they're very thin, and I'm going to double strand them together. And this will make at least part of a starter piece, you know, and then we'll figure it out. I think these tiny little ones, I'm just going to put back in here. I don't want to tie a bunch of tiny ones together because that would be just way too many knots, and I don't want to do that necessarily. This is a 3-weight yarn, but it's a little bit thicker than like, let's say, this 3-weight yarn, which is from my Fairyland yarn. It's not quite long enough. So if I could find another piece of thin yarn, actually, I do have one here, and I haven't, oh, is that gonna be enough? Not really. Maybe that'll be enough for that. Okay. I think that's all of the 3-weight yarn that I have. Now, I do have these strips here, right? And we're going to try and tie some of these together. And see where that gives us, you know what I mean? And because they're pretty decent sizes. I do have some in there, I think, that I haven't cut in half. Because I did start doing that, and then I regretted it because they were rather long pieces. So if I would have left them, I would have been able to measure it out a little bit better. But anyway, we do have like these long pieces here, which is going to be great. And we're going to figure this out. Like, I think I could tie these two together. And we're just going to go with the flow, man. Now, once I get all of these, like, a little sorted, I will come back and show you what I got. And then we are going to get started. And I don't know what I have. I have a bunch of house stuff that I have to do. So I don't know how much I'm going to be crocheting today. But I will be crocheting a bit. So I don't know how long. But I'm going to be making as many granny squares as I can. And we need to get, like I said, to about, if it's, I can't even remember right now, like 12 or something like that. But again, I will bring all of the squares in here, and I will definitely show you all the squares that I have. And then we will figure it out from there. And yeah, I hope y'all are having a great day. And for you, I will be right back. For me, God knows how long that'll be. I don't know. I'm such a mess. But I'll catch up with you in a minute. Okay, now like shorter pieces like this, I don't know if I'm going to leave them on the side, right? And then if I do need like extra pieces, maybe I can use those. Like this, I think I am going to leave and, you know, figure it out. This, I don't know. We're going to leave these to the side. So now, I have all of these. It's full again. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, it brings me joy. It's full all over again. So, I am going to go gather up all of my squares. And we are going to count them all. And I was having them separate because I was going to do a recap of what I've done every day. And that, best laid plans, right? That really didn't work out for me. And now I think like what I'm going to do is just probably Friday's video is going to be a recap, either Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It should actually be Sunday, right? So it's like, you know, 2 full weeks from the first. From the 1st to the 7th, and then the 7th to the 14th. So it'd be 2 weeks full of projects. The only thing that wouldn't be in there would be the scarf and the hat, right? And maybe the baby blanket if I haven't given that to her yet. But other than that, everything else that I've made is here. So I'm going to think about that and think about how I want to do that. But I'm going to put it all in a pile anyway. And that's really what the point of this was. I am going to put them all in a pile instead of keeping them separate. And, you know, if you've watched the videos, you know what order I made them in anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about that. But I am going to gather up all the squares and count and see how many I actually have. And see how many I need to make. And I might bring them in here just to count them off for you. So we can see exactly how many we need. And then spend maybe like part of this time just doing centers. And then seeing how many squares we can get done. Or we just might do squares for today, and then whatever's left we'll start doing the bases for the rest of the squares. I don't know. You know, like I've said in previous videos, I start off with one idea, and by the time I'm done, it's something completely different than what I was originally thinking anyway. And you know, it's not that I'm lying to you. It's that I'm figuring it out in real time. So we're going to see. We have our little pile here. That did take me a while. And we have these little 4 squares to start with. So this is what we're going to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to start with these. And by the end of the night, I will give you a full count of all the squares that I've made. How does that sound? Because I'm not going to be sitting all day. Like I said, there are things that I have to do in the house. I have to clean my kitchen. And I have to get the living room ready for me to bring up my Christmas decorations so I can decorate my living room. So I will be crocheting in between those things. And we will see how many squares I can get done in a day. So I believe it is at least, I don't know, 14, 15 squares that I need to get done. I have no freaking idea at this moment, but we are going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to count. We're going to get an exact count of how many I need. And if I can get a few extra squares done today and be ahead of the game, maybe. Or maybe instead, if I can get all the squares up to date for the Christmas blanket, we're calling it a scrap Christmas blanket, even though it's not in Christmas colors. But we're Vlogmas. Oh, there you go. My Vlogmas blanket. If we get enough squares for my Vlogmas blanket to be up to date, I do want to have this day as a total granny square day. So whenever I can sit down and crochet for a little while, I want to make granny squares. So what we might do, and I'm liking this idea more and more the more I speak. I think that's what we might do. We're going to grab those squares. We're going to count how many squares I have and figure out how many I need. And if I can get all those squares done and be up to date for my Vlogmas blanket, then we might pivot and work on these squares. which are bigger. So, but I think that I settled on how many squares? What's 9 times 5? 45. So 45 squares I need for this. And then I was thinking, since I'm doing 50 squares for this, I mean, it's going to be a big blanket because it'll definitely be bigger than this one because these squares are bigger. But I was thinking, why not get 50? If I can stretch the yarn. Now, it all depends on the yarn too. My goal is really to get 45 because I wanted to do 5 across and 9 down, right? But if I have enough yarn to do 50 squares, then I would love to do that. If I only have enough to do 45 squares, I'll be good with that. If I don't have enough, and whatever I get is what I will use. So this is like we'll see what happens, how many squares I can get out of it. Because once I'm done with that yarn, I'm done with that yarn. There is no, I want that blanket done in those squares done specifically with that type of yarn. So when I'm done with the yarn is when I'm done with the yarn. And I'm not going to use the same yarn to connect it. We will find a nice yarn and probably a nice, like, soft yarn to connect all of them and do maybe a border. I don't know if I want to do a border. I'm not big on borders on blankets unless it's like maybe a single crochet all the way around. Like that I like a half double and a single crochet. That's my idea of a border. But anyway, we're going to get moving and see what happens. I'll check back with you in a few. Okay, so I'm back. And I didn't film any of I was making the centerpieces, right? And I didn't film because I was watching. I didn't film because I was catching up on some of the videos that I like to watch for Vlogmas. And I wasn't paying attention to the time, and I believe I was sitting here for over an hour, and I'm tired, and my leg is starting to go numb, but I wanted to show you. I went through all of this yarn, and I was only going to do 8 centers because that's how many I was missing, right? But again, I wasn't paying attention and I was just crocheting, so we're gonna count them all. I'm gonna put them on my little table right here. Okay. And we are going to count them and put them back in the box. So now they're not full, like they're just started. So if it was like, if I didn't have enough to close it off, I would tie on another piece and just keep going, right? So we got 1, 2, 3. Now, in all fairness, I don't know how many are here either, so it's as much news for me as it is for you. 4, 5. Well, this one ended up just being a little square. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know if you can see. 12. 13. 14. 15. So, not bad. 15 centers in an hour? Maybe an hour in... Oh, sugar. Probably like an hour and a half. Yep. So 15 centers in an hour and a half. I think that's pretty good. What do you think? Now, I need to take a break. And I'm very pleased with the fact that this is almost all gone. And I'm debating on whether I should just finish all of these off and have as many squares as possible, like centers going. And then put all the centers in here. I don't know. If you know me, you know that anything can happen. So I'm tired, I'm in pain, and I just realized that I haven't eaten all day, and it's about to be 3 o'clock. Now, I know I started close to 2. How close to 2? I have no freaking clue. But it's been about an hour and a half, and I need to take a break. And when I come back, we have these to pick from. So, I don't know if you could see. But we have a bunch of balls in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 balls in here. Some are big, like this purple one. And I think the smallest one we have might be one of these. Or that one. I'm not sure, but we will see how far this takes us. And if I have to dip into some of the skeins that are like half used, where it's not necessarily like balls, although I know that this was not scrap. This was probably something that I took apart, and this is like an entire skein of yarn. So what I might do is, if I run out of that yarn that's in the it's not a basket, that's a cloth drawer from the Dollar Tree. If I finish all the yarn that is in there, what I will do is go into my workroom and pull out all the skeins that are half used and roll them up into balls and throw them in there. And that's the plan for the moment. The only ones we're not touching, like I said, is going to be the skeins that are going to be for the other squares. And I think I mentioned that yesterday, but I will be back. And again, for you, it'll just be a minute or a few seconds. Oh, I'm tired. I'll be back.
Maybe get some dough,
Okay.
tuition. Sometimes you do what's necessary for the greater.
So,
I'm not the greatest guy in the world, but
I'm very tired.
Level crap that you're spouting out.
I did get all of my boxes from the basement with my Christmas. It's one box, which is the Christmas tree, and then it's a bunch of totes and a bunch of bags. I asked my friend if she could help me, and she came and helped me bring that stuff up from the basement. Now it's all piled in my living room. And maybe tomorrow I'll start decorating. I'm not sure. I have to do a little bit of, you know, like swapping. The corner where I want to put my Christmas tree is where I have all, like, the baby's toys or baby's toys and, you know, like Legos and blocks and baby dolls and stuff like that. So I have to clear that out and most likely put that away in the basement until, you know, the Christmas decorations come down. I'll leave some toys out for this baby that I watch every so often so that she has something to play with. But for the most part, you know, they all got to go downstairs. So as I remove things from the bags, like I have those big bags, the plastic ones with the clear. Some of them have, well, no, I think they all have like a clear plastic so you could see through them, and they have zippers and handles. I bought a couple of those a few years ago and to use instead of totes, and I use those for a lot of things, but I have most of my
everything is heightened.
Christmas decorations that are, you know, awkward to put in totes. So like my Christmas wreaths, one has at least one has stuffed animals and just things that are, you know, either too awkward or take up too much space in those totes. And they just fit better in the bags. So, I, as I take stuff out of the bags, I will be putting the stuff that needs to go downstairs into those bags. And doing a swap. And I think I said this in my other video. It most likely will take, you know, see, now it's too big. This is the only thing I hate about working with smaller yarn. Sometimes it changes. So now I think this one is a little bit bigger, but we're just going to leave it for now. Without, I did a row of half doubles, right? And I did it this way so that when I join it, I can still do the like join as you go method, because there's spaces right here. It's just a shorter stitch, which I kind of like, but it does seem to be a little bit bigger than most of these squares, and without it, it was too small.
Babe, we're on cricket now.
Honey?
With cricket, go from nah to
Get a single line with nationwide 5G for just $35 a month. Woo! Smile. You're on.
Yeah, it was a smidge too small without it, and now it's a smidge too big with it. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm tired. Like I was saying, I'm exhausted. So we brought all that stuff up from the basement, and now I will, like I said in my other video, it's going to take me about 2 or 3 days to get everything up and ready and all of that. I will be filming it at some point, so don't worry, and I will show you my tree. Actually, I love my tree. Almost every single ornament on my tree is Disney or Disney related. But anyway, I showed you all the centers that I did, right? And in between, and right now you saw me finish one, in between doing the stuff I had to do around the house, I made 4 squares. I think. These should all be the ones that I made in the beginning and yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, this one. Okay. So, these were all the ones that I've done so far, and I'm starting to notice that some of them are a little bit bigger than others, and that's because of the yarn, because some of them are made with the loops, and they're mixed. So I don't know what I'm going to get when I roll the dice. You know what I'm saying? So, in here is a mix of Premier Yarn, loops and Big Twist. These two are Big Twist, and this is Loops and Threads. And then you have this one where it's a 3-weight yarn, Big Twist, and Michaels. And then you have this one, which this white yarn is much smaller. I think that's Walmart. And then this is a 3-weight yarn. So when you're using all those different yarns, because Loops and Threads is a little bit thicker than all the other ones that I'm using. Loops and Threads Soft Classic. It's bigger than the Lily Sugar and Cream. Oh my god. I'm losing my mind. The Big Twist. And even the multicolor in the Lily... even in the multicolor in Loops and Threads. And then when you... this one here was too thin to put it on its own, so I doubled it, and that came out a little too thick. Now, I don't mind. That's what I wanted, but it does change the size of the squares. So we will see what's going on when I start putting them all together, and that's fine. So today I made 14 centers, and I made 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think I needed 8 squares. So, 6, 7, 8. I'm so tired, I can't even. I'm 3 squares short And by tomorrow, I'll need 2 more. So tomorrow, I will hopefully, in between cleaning whatever else I need to clean and setting up the tree, I can get 5 more done. And then we can start on the blanket, the baby blanket. But I did want to finish those squares, and I think I'm doing a great job. Now, let's see how many of these we have left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I must have had 15 of these.
Turn another vampire, you're gonna do another experiment. The only way to really handle you is just to snuff you out. You're lucky enough.
Or 16, I don't know. I can't do math right now. When I tell you that I am so exhausted that I can barely keep my eyes open. I almost fell asleep making that last square. I am exhausted. I have absolutely no idea at this moment how long this video is going to be, because it's done in pieces and I'm just so tired. So, obviously, if I hadn't made all these centerpieces, I would have probably got a few more done. But in the long run, this will help. So, like, tomorrow, most likely, I'll be able to go through all 5 squares with no problem. And depending on how much I do, because bringing that stuff up exhausted me too. Like, some of it is heavy, and, you know, granted, she did help me, my friend did help me bring up the heavy stuff, we did it together, but, you know, walking up those stairs, it's just moving everything around. My body is aching, and I am exhausted. I wish I could have done more, but I'm actually very happy with what I've done. I think that in the long run, those centers were the best idea that I had, you know, and I just, because again, like I explained, doing those centers, or when you're doing like panels, or you know, no-sew cardigan, right, where it's like the whole thing is done in one piece. The hardest part is always doing the first row, the chain in the first row. And when you're doing squares, the hardest part is always doing the magic circle and the first 4 clusters. Once that's done, everything else is quick. So that's why I chose to do it this way and do a bunch of centers and take the time to do them. Now, again, like when I start off, you know what? Hold on. This has to be... I just noticed this has no corner. Alright, let's fix this real quick. Once the centers, you know, since the centers are done, doing... doing the rest of it is the fast, you know, is the easy part. Come on. And my hands do not want to work. I'm exhausted, guys. I'm just going to do this one and then I'm going to sign off. So, I'm actually very happy that I did all these centerpieces. And like I said, tomorrow we are going to need to do 5 more. And with the centerpieces done, it's going to be a lot quicker. And I don't know if I'm going to jump ahead when it comes to doing the squares. Since I have other things that I'm doing as well, I might not jump ahead. What am I doing? This is how you know that I am truly exhausted, because apparently I can't count right now.
Number 5 is the answer. Chanel.
At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
Eczema isn't the same for everyone, but with Bliss, people with moderate to severe eczema can have real results, like skin that's still more clear at 1 year.
Don't use if you're allergic to Bliss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Bliss.
You know that I'm really exhausted and need a break when I can't do granny square. Alright, there we go.
Feel more strong, emotional, free, joyful. Feel everything. Feel it all.
Myself, absolute.
So,
Sliced ginger intensity.
like I was saying, I don't know if I'm going to
I'll admit it.
jump ahead with the granny squares. I don't think I'm going to do that, because I would rather just do them the way I'm supposed to. But, you know, I got behind, so catching up is okay. Going ahead, I don't think I want to do. What I will do, though, is probably make enough centerpieces so that all I have to do every day is just grab a centerpiece and make my squares, right? My 2 squares. So I have to count and see how many more centerpieces I'm going to need and make as many as I can, because I don't know how many. I have this much of scraps left at the moment, and I don't know how many more centerpieces this is going to give me. And I do have all of this yarn left, and as it gets smaller, once it gets to like maybe this size, it'll get thrown in here so that we can use those scraps as centerpieces. And oddly enough, as many times as I've used these scrap balls, we still haven't put something new in there. So that's a good thing, because that means that they might last me to make all 50 squares. Again, tomorrow I don't know how much I'm going to crochet, but we will be getting at least those 5 squares done. And we're just going to take it one day at a time. If I get a chance tomorrow to, there's a video that I want to make showing all the things that, you know, I think I might do it before the weekend, and I'll decide when I'm going to do it. And maybe not wait till Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. And I will be making, I will be showing you guys my tree once I get it up. But I'm going to say goodnight because I think I'm repeating myself now. And I truly am exhausted. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And thank you so much for my new subscribers. I can't believe I'm actually up to 43 subscribers now. So I'm very close to being able to do live. Thank you so much. So if you are subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more of me and the hot mess that I am. And hit that like button. None of that costs you anything. And if you want to be notified as to when I'm on, you can hit the little bell. Oh, my head is killing me. You can hit the little bell and it'll let you know when I'm on. And I will see you when I see you. I will see you tomorrow. And if you want, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Good night, guys. I gotta go.